Hello students, today we have to learn for the next continuation part in the lesson metals and non-metals. Today we have to learn about the ionic compounds. So till to yesterday you learnt about the electrovalent compounds. What are electrovalent compounds? I told you electrovalent compounds in the sense the compounds which are formed by the sharing of valency electrons are called as the electrovalent compounds. In the same way, ionic compounds means the compounds which are formed by the sharing of ions. Sharing of ions are called as the ionic compounds. The name itself says here, ionic compounds means the compounds which are formed by the sharing of ions. Sharing of ions are called as the ionic compounds. Okay, what is meant by ions? Ions means charged particle, electrically charged particles are called as the ions. What are ions? The definition is the electrically charged particles are called as the ions. Okay, there are the two kinds of ions. One is called as the anion, one is called as anion, you know already, and the another one is called as the cation. What is mean by anion here? Anion in the sense the positively charged particles are called as the anion and the negatively charged particles are called as the cation. Okay, positively charged particles are called as the anion and the negatively charged particles are called as the cation. Okay, so this is about the ionic compounds. So let us take the properties of the ionic compounds. If you are taken the properties, what are ionic compounds? The compounds which are formed by the sharing of ions are called as the ionic compounds. 1 minute, I will give example how the ionic compounds are formed. So later I will go with the properties of ionic compounds actually. So let us take one example actually ionic compounds, that is the magnesium oxide. Magnesium oxide, that is MgO, magnesium oxide. Consider this is the ionic compounds, how this compound has formed. So here also we want to write the electronic configuration actually. Magnesium electronic configuration is, so if you had a table with you can write easily. Magnesium atomic number is 12. Magnesium atomic number is, how much it is? Keep in mind, magnesium atomic number is 12 and mass number is 24. Okay, so if you are writing the electronic configuration for the magnesium, that will become 1s2, 2s2, then 2p6. So 6 plus 2 8, 8 plus 2 10, remaining only 2. So that is we have to 2p, after we have to go for 3s2. Okay, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6 and the 3s2. Okay, so totally magnesium have 2 electrons in the last orbit. Next we have to take one more element, that is the oxygen. Oxygen atomic number you know very well, that is the 8 and the mass number is 60. So if you are writing the electronic configuration for the oxygen, so we will get 1s2, 2s2, 2 plus 2 is 4 already. Next remaining is 4 only to balance for the 8. So that's why 2p4 it is, right? Okay. So here oxygen need to fulfill this p orbit. Maximum electron filled in a p orbit is 2. Oxygen need 2 electrons. Those 2 electron it has received by the oxygen. Okay, so this are called as the electron dot structure or dot formula. Keep in mind, electron dot structure. So how to write the electron dot structure for the element, that is MgO. Now I am writing. So if you are writing the electron dot structure for Mg, magnesium oxide, Mg is electrons present in the last orbit, that is the 2 electrons. 1, write 2 electrons, 2 plus, so it is combined with the oxygen. Electrons present in the last orbit is 4 plus 2, 4 plus 2, 6 are there, but it required the 2 electrons. But we want to write all the 6 because 6 electrons in the last orbit, 6 electrons are there. So that's why you have to write the select 6 electrons for the oxygen. Oxygen electrons I will mention in a dot, magnesium electrons I will mention in a star mark, but oxygen electron I will mention in a dot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Is it done? 6. So this P required how many electrons to fulfill the orbit? 2 electrons. Right? Okay. Those 2 electrons. So this oxygen to fulfill or to maintain the last orbit or to balance the last orbit, these 2 electrons as received by the oxygen by the magnesium. Okay. So oxygen receiving the 2 electrons, that is star. So if you are getting any confusion, you have to get to know very well. So oxygen electrons I will mention in a dots actually. See dots. Okay. And the magnesium electrons I will mention in a star for not getting a confusion for you. Okay. So that's why to fulfill its orbit, oxygen receiving the 2 electrons, it receives the 2 electrons to fulfill the last orbit, because P required 2 electrons to fulfill the P orbit, because P maximum orbit filled in a P orbit is 6. Okay. So those 2 electrons as received by the magnesium, which is which element? Oxygen. Okay. And form a compound. So here magnesium is donating the electron for the oxygen, so that's why it's become a electropositive. Keep in mind what is mean by electropositive. Why Mg plus is writing here? What is that mean? Mg plus means Mg donates the electrons to the oxygen and become a electropositive. Keep in mind. So which elements donates the electrons to the neighboring element and form a compound? That element is called as the electropositive. If plus is there, sometimes in a MCQ and examination they will ask you what is the meaning of Na plus, why it should be, what is that? Or sometimes it donates, if it is donates the 2 electrons, we want to write 2 plus only. If it donates the 3 electrons, we want to write 3 plus only. If it donates the 4 electrons, we want to write 4 plus only. What does that mean? Sodium donates the 4 electrons. Here magnesium 2 plus means magnesium donates the 2 electrons and become a electropositive. Oxygen is receiving the 2 electrons and become a electronegative. How many electrons it receiving? That is the 2. Okay. So what is mean by electronegative? Which element has received the electrons from the neighboring element to form a compound, that is called as a electronegative. Okay. Which element is donates the electron, that is called as a electropositive. Which element is receiving the electron is called as the electronegative. Keep in mind, donating positive, receiving electronegative. Okay. So that's why oxygen become minus here. Oxygen is become a minus, and 2 denotes it receiving the 2 electrons. It receiving the 2 electrons. So that forms, plus is there, so that forms MgO. Mg donates the 2 electron, oxygen receiving the 2 minus electrons. Okay. And it donating already. The electrons now in oxygen are 8, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. With the magnesium, no electron. Like that, by sharing the ions that form a compounds, these are all the electrons. I think I told you already, charged particles, positive, negative, always positive attracts a negative. Okay. So that's why these compounds are called as the ionic compound. Okay. They will ask you to write the electron dot structure in examination. You want to write like that only. In this only they will ask you what is electropositive, what is electronegative, what is ion, what is anion, and what is cation. Concentrate on that. Clear? So next one more example we have to take that is the sodium oxide, that is NaO. Sodium oxide. Okay, one more example for you to write how to write the sodium oxide. So what is the atomic number of sodium? Atomic number of sodium is 11. Let us take atomic number 11, mass number is 22. I told you already. Write the electronic configuration. Oxygen is already is there, so not necessary to write again. Sodium, if you are writing sodium, it's enough. So sodium electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p, 2p6, right, and 3s1. Is it done? 3s1. Keep in mind. So here sodium oxide molecular formula is Na2O. Na2O. Okay, I'll tell you why it is Na2O and why here Mg only, not why it is Mg2O not there. For that I'll tell you now. Okay, sodium oxide it is. Sodium oxide. That is the magnesium oxide and this is the sodium oxide. Yes, it is the electronic configuration of sodium actually. So if we are writing the electronic configuration of sodium, we will get the first orbit, second orbit and third orbit. In third orbit, 1 electron is there. So that's why valency of a sodium is 1. Here valency of the magnesium is 2 and the period is 3. Sodium period is also 3. Here valency of the oxygen is 4 plus 2 6 and the period is 2. Okay, many utilities are there if we write the electronic configuration. Yes, why here we are taken 2? Let us come to the point. So I think you are getting a confusion while balancing the equation and everything. I told you not to change the number down. Actually you had only rights to change here, okay, because it is already fixed while forming a compound only. This number 1 is there already. If it is there or not, 1 is there. We didn't have any rights to write 2 here. So why it is now I will teach you. That is Na2O. That means Na is sodium is required 1 electron to fulfill the orbit. Oxygen has required the 2 electrons to fulfill the orbit. Okay, if one Na has taken here, oxygen, sodium can donate a 1 electron. Here Mg, it can donate a 2 electrons and form a magnesium oxide. Okay, no worry there. But here sodium can donate only 1 electron. If it is donating a 1 electron to the oxygen, so it's not fulfilled. It required 4 plus 1 is 5. 1 required 1 more electron. So that's why we are taken a 2 atoms of sodium. That is the Na plus Na. That is 2 atoms of sodium. I mean, in the last orbit, in the first Na, how many electron is there? 1 electron is there. In this also 1 electron is there. So this as mixed with Na, 2 Na, that is Na2. If it is mixed with the oxygen has having a, I told you, I mentioned in a dots actually, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 electrons in the last orbit. So it required 2 electrons. Those 2 electrons oxygen will get from the 2 atoms of sodium. Here 1 is enough. That's why it is MgO. Why it's not become Mg2O? Because Mg not necessary to require the 2 atoms of magnesium to form the magnesium oxide. So that's why I told you while balancing the reaction we didn't have any rights to change here because it is already fixed when the compound has formed like that. So here we didn't have any rights to write the NaO because it's required. Na2 has decided based on this. Clear? Because oxygen required the 2 electrons from the 2 Na atoms, 2 sodium atoms. So that's why 2 Nas are there. Na2, Na2. Okay, and it donates the 2 electrons to the oxygen and it's become Na plus. That it gives rise to, here no space, that's why I am writing down, that is the Na2 plus. Na2, 2 atoms of sodium donates the 2 electrons and become a 2 plus, and then oxygen receives the 2 electrons and become a negative. That is, now it is fulfilled. So Na2 has donating the 2 electrons. Now it is full filled. Right? Okay. So that's why it's become a Na2O. 2O. Okay. So not NaO. So this has decided while forming a compound only. That thing you have to keep in mind. These are called as the ionic compounds. These are the example for ionic compounds. So let us know the properties of ionic compounds now. What are the properties of? Very important question. What are ionic compounds and properties of ionic compounds? So what are the properties of ionic compounds? First one is they are solid in nature due to the strong force of attraction. They are solid in nature. Why ionic compounds are solid? Because due to the strong force of attraction. Strong force of attraction in the sense between ion to ions there will be the strong bond. Strong bond. I think I told you already, if two elements are shared each other, that is 2 electrons are shared each other, that is called as the double bond. If 1 electron is shared, that is called as a single bond. If 3 electrons are shared, that is called as the triple bond. Okay, bond also has formed based on the sharing of how many electrons. Okay, so it is solid in nature. Ionic compounds are solid in nature. Why ionic compounds are solid in nature? Because due to the strong force of attraction between the ions. They can ask you the sub questions like that also in that properties only. So that's why you have to get to know that. Next, ionic compounds have high melting point and boiling point. High melting point and boiling point. So what is mean by melting point and boiling point? Melting point means the temperature at which the compound started to melt. Melt in the sense kargodike shuruvagutta. So that is called as the melting point. Boiling point means not blood pressure. The temperature at which the compound started to boil, kudiyodu, that is called as the boiling point. One more is also there, freezing point. The temperature at which the compound started to freeze in the sense converted into solid state, that is called as a freezing point. Okay, you get to know that melting point and boiling point. So these ionic compounds have high melting point and the boiling point. Why the ionic compounds have a high melting point and boiling point? Because I told you already, they have a strong force of attraction, strong bond actually. To break that strong bond or to break that strong ionic bond, it requires the more melting point as well as the more boiling point. Energy has more required. That's why they have a high melting point and boiling point. Okay. Next, these ionic compounds are soluble in water and insoluble in kerosene, petrol, etc. Soluble means karagutte. Soluble in water and insoluble in insoluble. Insoluble means karagalla. In which liquid? That is the kerosene and petrol, etc. Okay, ionic compounds are soluble in water and insoluble in kerosene and petrol, etc. Next one is ionic compounds do not conduct the electricity in solid state. In solid state, they do not conduct electricity. But ionic compounds, if it is mixed with the water, they can conduct the electricity, because in solid state, the liberation of ions is not possible. Liberation of ions is not possible. That thing you have to keep in mind. Why ionic compounds not conduct the electricity in solid state? Because the liberation of ion is not possible. When the ions are liberated, if the ions are liberated only, no, it can conduct the electricity. Yes, when it is mixed with water, ionic compounds can conduct the electricity. Next is In the molten state, ionic compounds conduct the electricity because due to the more electrostatic force between the ions. In molten state, it can conduct the molten in the sense ಕುದಿಯುವಂಥ ಸ್ಟೇಜಲ್ಲಿ. Okay, in molten state, ionic compounds can conduct the electricity because due to the strong force of attraction. Strong force of attraction. These are the properties of ionic compounds. I'll recall you again. Very important question it is. Properties of ionic compounds. Ionic compounds are solid in state generally, and they have high melting point and boiling point. The third one is they are soluble in water and insoluble in kerosene and petrol. Next, ionic compounds not conducts the electricity in solid state, but it can conduct the electricity in liquid state, and ionic compounds conducts the electricity in molten state. And the reasons are very important. Get to know the reason also why ionic compounds are solid in state, because due to the strong force of attraction between the ions. Why ionic compounds have high melting point and boiling point? Because it requires the more energy to break the strong bond what is formed between the ions, this bond. Okay, so that's why. And why ionic compounds are soluble in water and insoluble in kerosene, not insoluble in kerosene and petrol? Because water is a liquid, everything can soluble, but in kerosene and the petrol are the hydrocarbon compounds. Okay, so that's why. Next, why the ionic compounds not conduct the electricity in solid state? Because the liberation of ions are impossible. And why the ionic compounds conducts the electric current in molten state? Because the liberation of ion is possible. These are all the reasons. Reasons also important, properties also important. Keep in mind. Okay, so next I'll continue in the next period. Thank you all.